This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For March 6, 2026, it's the best sounding and most audio-zoned podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 133. 133. You guys wouldn't shut up about audio zones today, so it's Audio Zone Day.
Audio Zone Day. Well, we're doing this. We are doing this in spatial, right?
No,
Oh, yeah. If we're zoning it, it has to be spatial.
All mono.
Too.
Shut up. All right. Broadcasting live across 4 time zones and hundreds of your campus quads, loading docks, weird divisible business school lecture halls with bad lighting and bad audio, and at least one classroom still running on control systems that last rebooted during the Obama administration. We're surfing syllabi, we're chasing service tickets, and we're dodging quick questions that somehow become a 90-minute meeting. So from the land of dead batteries, mystery adapters, cursed HDMI handshakes, and professors who insist it worked perfectly in 2019, so why did we change it? We are the last line between higher education and total pedagogical collapse. We are the adapter in the darkness, the firmware in the storm, and the slightly concerned voice saying, well, it shouldn't be doing that. I'm Chris Decker, and you're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure. I wrote that today.
You wrote that all by yourself? That's nice.
That's really
and
nice.
let's say hello to today's panel. Let's say hello, that word, to today's panel of AV SuperFriends. Our first panelist ensures every interaction with campus support feels intentional, affirming, and supported by at least 4 overlapping ticketing platforms. He's a senior director of holistic user experience and success delivery from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
The call center secret is you open every phone call with, "Do you need a hug?"
And then put them on hold.
Yeah.
Our next panelist oversees the full life cycle of campus service touchpoints from first contact to final closure, or at least to the point where the user gives up replying. He's a director of constituent journey optimization from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Kolowazinski.
Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. We're all going to get through this together, one way or another.
Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug?
Yes, I do.
Then put him on hold. Our next panelist brings together people, process, and technology to create a unified service model that is far too strategic to ever answer the phone directly. He's a manager of support alignment and experience innovation from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling.
Because answering the phone isn't efficient. You need to shift left.
Frickin' Amazon shift
and
left
give
crap.
hugs.
And then put him on hold. And our final panelist provides executive leadership for a seamless support ecosystem where every problem is compassionately acknowledged and then routed into a beautifully optimized maze. He's a vice president for integrated campus resolution services from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
I'm just trying to get rid of 480i.
They don't do support there.
He's the chief
not
hug
that
giver.
group. The other group does support.
It's got to be a project.
The other wing.
One of those
You need a
support
hug,
teams.
we send Justin.
So on today's show, we're going to discuss how we do our design drawings.
Oh boy.
And we're going to discuss those friendly departments on campus who really want to help by doing their own thing because they're just trying to save us time. And that ends up just being a whole mess. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. If you are listening to this as a recording, please remember we do stream live on Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific. Today we went right on time. And then I forgot I was muted and it was just silent for like a minute. So that's my fault.
You're a minute late.
You can catch us live with that on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and other fine digital establishments. And if you can't join us live, then you can still keep up with us online. You can follow AV SuperFriends on the social, subscribe to the show, hit the link, so when you know when the new episodes, clips, assorted nonsense all drops for you. Honestly, the easiest thing to do is just head over to the website and start clicking until something good happens. And while you're at it, tell people about the show. Tell your AV people, tell your IT people, your classroom support people. These are all different groups, by the way. Your favorite systems designer, your least favorite project manager, and that one colleague who still says, can't we just use the TV speakers? Help us spread the word to anyone who enjoys higher ed AV, higher ed IT, or hearing professionals slowly lose their minds in public. And finally, if you want to support the show, donations are always appreciated. They help keep the lights on, the streams flowing, the bad opinions coming in crystal clear quality. Listen to that silence. Dang it, you ruined it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for streaming with us. Thanks for sharing. As always, don't cross the streams. And thank you for your support. So, and now you've waited all week for it. It's the news. Justin, sing along.
Yeah.
All right, and I just closed this tab because I'm a genius.
What?
Today's story comes from Commercial Integrator, and it's actually not from today. It's from like 2 weeks ago.
That was a blast from the
And
past.
the only
Why
reason
is it relevant today?
Well,
it is still
Is it?
relevant.
Okay.
The only reason it's the news this week instead of 2 weeks ago is because we have follow-up news about this. So anyway, the headline from Commercial Integrator is AV Trust launches to strengthen cybersecurity in the commercial AV industry. And right before the show, Jamie was regaling us with the joys of network security challenges on campus, which all came down to a one like
Lousy
slightly
piece of
dusty
dust.
fiber
Dirty
connector.
fiber.
No.
Somebody got out a little cloth and
That's
cleaned that up.
That's
It's
where
always
the
layer
blame
one.
has been.
Oh, I'm
laid.
sorry. Yes, the
That's where the
blame is
blame
on
has been
one dusty fiber
If
connector.
the blame's there, then it must be
So
true.
you're
I'm
leading
sure
me to
that
believe
was the
that
only
dust
reason.
is messing up all your multicasts.
No, dusty.
It created all of my multicast.
It
dust
just
here.
split it up.
Okay.
And so I think the concept here is this is forming as an industry, not a what would you call it, an organization,
Consortium.
a nonprofit, a consortium of sorts to. Hey, we
Militia.
need to get better at security, and we all like to buy stuff,
Security militia.
possibly plug it into the network and leave it there for 20 years. So we should probably all stop doing that.
Oh, that's fun. I like doing that.
Only plug it in when you need it. That'll
15
scale.
years.
Yeah.
Make sure Telnet's on.
Yes.
It always is.
I leave SSH on. It's convenient.
Yeah, it works. And so these guys are they're going to do it. All right. Who's behind this whole thing?
Well,
Chris?
let me read the first line here. So, AV Trust, a newly established nonprofit organization, is on a mission to enhance cybersecurity in the commercial AV and unified communication industries, which is also one that has major problems and one you would think would be on top of this, since the very nature of what they do is on the network. Founded by Doug Schaefer, president, Colin Burney, vice president, treasurer, and Frank Paticala, secretary, AV Trust aims to address the growing need for security in AV systems by focusing on education, research, and the development of security standards.
We know those
Well, I
guys.
knew-
I've
I
talked
knew-
to them before.
I knew Colin. I didn't know Frank was. Breaking news. Frank's involved.
Yeah. Broken
Okay.
news.
as announced like 2 weeks ago, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And has been involved.
I think it's a
Imagine
really
that.
cool endeavor by those guys.
Well, it is. It's needed.
Yeah,
Man, they're
yeah,
really
I'll say.
battling a.
Well,
They're. It's a losing battle.
It's a David versus Goliath thing because these people aren't the problem.
No.
Like,
no, but is it the? I applaud the fact that they're putting together some sort of talking point that
Yes.
our community, the AV community, not higher ed, we're involved in this too, but that says, hey, look, this is a big deal. We need to pay attention to this. This is a consortium of users that says, come on, do better. Instead of all of
According
us
to
just sitting here on the air, on the internet streamers saying, do better. They're out there doing it. So I applaud them.
According to my therapist, awareness. It's a joke.
Could you get a
Awareness
hug?
is the first step.
Awareness precedes control.
Being aware of
knowing
the
is
issue.
half the
Knowing
battle.
the issue. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
It's same thing. That's
It's all
my
coming
therapist.
back around.
Well, in that light, we've all had those conversations with manufacturers, and we're like, hey, like, I need to know, insert whatever network related question here. And none of the people that we correspond with on a daily basis have any clue about that. They're like, wow, that's a question for Chuck, and he's over in wherever country, and he works remote, and we can't. I'll have to get back to you on that. Like, I think the industry at large is not very well versed in any of this right now.
No, they just want to
Full
sell
stop.
it.
Yeah, they're about how many boxes are you going to buy this quarter? None if you
buy
don't figure
10?
this out. That's what it's going to come down to.
And I think it's, you know, Frank's been in the network because he was at Dante there for or Audinate there for a little while, and Colin's been a, you know, he's from the consultant side, and his little he's got his business going too that talks about this. So there's some like
AVMSP.
real informed people doing this, and again, not just a bunch of knuckleheads like we are. And so I'm excited. I'm hoping that this takes off. I'm hoping that it's a big splash. I think Justin's right. It doesn't. I don't know if it has a long-term tooth, but if it makes a splash
I
this
hope
summer,
it does, but
and there's everybody's talking about it at Infocom, maybe somebody out there in the manufacturer realm will finally say, oh, we should probably address it.
Well, we're talking about it.
I think
First
it's real.
Yeah, but Justin, you're just a knucklehead.
Yeah,
It
we're
doesn't
just
matter.
Yeah.
I know. Thanks, Jamie.
It is a real thing. If
Wrapping
you
me in with that group.
if you all talk or
Let me put you guys together. You
Do you
sit
need a
down
hug?
here next to Jamie.
if you
There.
have a
Turn and
a
hug him.
don't-
Wait.
CISO on your campus, right? Many of the beliefs of a lot of the CISO class administrators, it's not an if, it's a when that we will see an exploit from an edge endpoint of some level.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
not. It's
no, I
it's
get
not.
it. They're battling this every day.
It's real, and so they're preparing for this. And the more we see in the peer-to-peer communications and APIs and all this, it is becoming more Wild Westy. It's actually not getting better. And because of that, I think that concept of if the when is more valid today than ever, and it's going to
Well,
get
and
worse.
how many manufacturers? I mean, Mark, I know you've been going through this. How many, not just manufacturers, but how many service providers out there who have some sort of cloud-based monitoring and resolution system? They look at you strange when you say, "What do you mean I can't talk to that thing over the network? Like this device doesn't get past the
I'm
firewall."
in it
They're
right
like,
now.
Well,
like
why not?
Right now. They're like, "Oh, just give it. Put your credential in there." And that I'm like, "What? You want me to give you full-on admin credential to all my endpoints so you can see into those? What happens when you get exploited, Mr. Cloud Provider?" What do you mean?
Well, we're not.
It's like
we're running on OpenClaw.
Yeah,
It's fine.
exactly. So
we got Cloudflare, and they've
Yeah.
never had a problem.
So
Ever.
when you engage in these really difficult conversations, that's where I'm hopeful for a consortium like this to help engage in more of those conversations and be intentional and say, yeah, well, almost as the mediator, right? So we have end users and we have these manufacturers. And manufacturers are just trying to get stuff out and bring it to product fruition so we can buy it, right? And so, well, I still need these things to communicate safely, securely across the wider network. So what does that mean? Well, how many are you going to buy? Well, so we need some like intermediate conversation that's not about sales. And it's really about technical pieces, and specifically in the security domain. And that's why I'm hoping something like this being stood up brings more validity to us type of knuckleheads.
So, Chris, how can we go about getting more information from these guys?
I don't know. What? Oh, okay. So
Oh, jeez.
Teaser.
I tried to tee you up, and I'll
Trying. We
I was going to launch another
talked
stuff
about
there,
this for like minutes.
So yes, we have two pieces of information on this, which I think will interest our listeners and viewers right now. So if you want more information about this, you can certainly go to their website, avtrust.org. You can find them on LinkedIn. Just search for AV Trust. There they are. And I'll have links for those in the show notes. Or if you return in 2 weeks from right now,
Breaking news.
we're going to have Doug, Frank, and Colin on this very show to talk about network security and our AV devices, and they're going to be here. We're going to be hashing it out with them because we are the knuckleheads who don't pay attention to this. I took it out of the... Jamie, you talked about this before the show. I took this thing out of the box. To be honest, I didn't read the manual. I just plugged it into the network. You literally said that.
That is exactly what you
It
said.
is
You did
quite
say that.
possible.
Allegedly.
That's exactly how that works.
Allegedly.
And the good news is you're saying I'm having trouble with said device. It doesn't seem to be responding. But what if it just like plugged in and
now there's apparently this dust storm on the horizon taking everything down.
Yeah. For some reason, we've lost 3 buildings on campus unrelated.
I'm-
But
I found your multicast issue.
I'm going to have to. I'm going to
be right
step
back.
away for a moment. I'm going to have to go.
so
Have you ever
anyway,
had the network
yeah.
team go, "Hey, your device is broke," and we're like, "No, that's actually how it's supposed to work." It's
be fair,
your network because
About 15 years ago, Jamie and I were sitting in the same room with a DSP that could do VoIP, and we cloned the MAC address of a Cisco phone and just plugged it back into the network, and then the NOC called and said, "What the hell is that?"
What are you doing?
Our jobs. Leave us
You got to be
alone.
honest. It's in your journey of AV over IP. At some point, you're going to get a multicast storm, and you're going to knock off a couple blades, maybe a couple
Everything.
floors of a building, maybe a building or two. That's a badge.
Done it.
You should wear that
Done it.
proudly.
I did it.
Yeah, like
And guess what?
In
The Dante
2026,
microphone was
no.
working just fine.
Yeah. But I was getting sound.
no,
No, it wasn't getting
is there
sound.
certain
It was-
people say, you know what, you're going to
There's no
learn how
sound
hot
coming
it is
through.
by putting your hand on the stove. Sometimes you now learn the importance of being very, very intentional around your protocols and where they sit correctly on your
I
network.
should stick my whole head in the oven.
Exactly.
How hot is it?
And even sometimes you can plan it correctly, and you're like, "Are you guys sure about this?"
I think
You're like,
multicast
"Yeah," and
is
I'm like,
suppressed at the edge. Let's find out.
There's always that little
pretty
pucker
sure I'm gonna
scenario
take down
there.
a building, click, and it like I told y'all. Well, I wonder what happened.
How come the CPU just hit 110%? Get better switches. I don't know what to tell you.
No, we're just testing you, making sure you guys have that implemented correctly.
Every
on
time
your
I plug in this mic, the fans on that network switch just go full tilt. I don't get it. So. Anyway, so
Really messing
head
up
over
the
to
noise for
head over to avtrust.org, find out what these guys are up to, and like I said, join us here in 2 weeks from today on March 20th.
Mark your calendars.
We'll have Doug, Frank, and Colin on to talk about this and what they're doing and what they're finding and all the challenges and good stuff. So,
Or don't look them up and burn down your buildings.
Get your multicast badge.
always an option.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure who your network security administrator, your security team, or your CISO are, if you're not sure who those people are, just plug stuff into the network.
Yeah,
You'll find out.
You'll get a Teams meeting request pretty quick.
Yeah. Plug it in
if
HD-based
the network
T
works,
first.
still, you're getting too many Teams meeting
good
messages.
point.
Just plug a bunch of shit in your network. It'll take care of it.
Maybe you won't get a Teams meeting
Yeah,
request.
plug in an HD-based T transmitter.
Oh,
It's quicker.
yes,
That's a
I have
quicker
experienced
result.
that one. So.
Oh,
It'll work.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how we like to structure our drawings, how we approach that process, how we kind of design things visually, and all those fun things. So, but first, it is this one, the new one.
New one?
The AV Super Friends are supported by Computer Comforts, and they've got a brand new product hitting the lineup. Last year, CCI's Evolve Lectern was a big hit. A push-button power table combined with a super flexible AV cabinet. But let's be honest, not every room needs 24 units of rack space. Shocking, I know. And that's where the new AV Hub comes in. It's a lighter, more space-efficient solution for classrooms that still need real AV infrastructure. You get 8 units of rack space, and the whole thing sits only about 10 inches off the wall, which makes it a great fit when you're pairing it with a sit-stand power table instead of building a massive lectern footprint into the room. And this wasn't designed in isolation. The AV Hub was developed in collaboration with Texas State University, so it's built around real higher ed classrooms and real deployment needs. And that means fewer compromises, cleaner installs, and way less, why is this furniture the size of a refrigerator? If you want to see photos, specs, and all the details, head over to computercomforts.com/AV-hub. That's the new AV Hub from Computer Comforts. Purpose-built, space-efficient, and designed for how classrooms actually work. And thanks again to Computer Comforts for supporting the AV Super Friends. I'm going to re-record that. There's a big pop filter right in the middle of that. A
You're
big
getting
plosive.
excited.
I was excited.
You know.
Plosive right through my filter. All righty. Well, Justin, what are we doing today?
Now what? Are we going to talk drawings?
This is your
Drawings.
show.
Oh, this
This was your suggestion
Like, how
for a
do we-
show.
I thought we did this show before.
Yeah.
All right.
We have not done this show before.
Well, I was
We
asking
just-
a question a while back as I was working on a schematic. Like, where do y'all start on schematics? Do you start on the left side or do
Middle.
you start on the right side?
Dead center and work
Middle
out.
out.
Do you go in the middle? And I was just thinking about
Parts list.
there's no chance that we all do it the same, and we haven't had this conversation yet. So
We're having it right now.
Okay.
so the way I do it, and I'll go first since it was my idea, I guess.
Sure.
Pick the piece
Seems
of gear
fair.
you're trying to sell for the most amount of money and start there.
Yes.
Sure,
The one that's
But
been
before
sitting on the
that-
shelf the longest.
Yeah, out of warranty. Before that, I usually start either with usually my outputs and then my inputs, then I fill in the middle.
But you do your outputs on the left side like
Wait.
everybody else, right?
No,
Oh, okay.
Start on the right.
All right. Yeah.
Kind of read like backwards, if you will, or it depends on the system. So if the system is like, let's say a big sports bar that has just a crap ton of TVs, I'll probably start on the input side because that's a lot of copy and paste on the out. But if it's like something else,
Like
I
a
don't know, I can't think of
classroom?
it.
Yeah.
That's just one display. So yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
that
I'll
you
just
don't
Let's
throw that
pick
on
a
there and
regular
then-
classroom maybe as the example we want to build this around.
Well, it's the same.
Sports
so I
bar
start with
classroom.
the most complex
Oh, you're talking about
thing
an active
first.
learning room? Is that what this is? A sports bar classroom?
gonna
Yeah,
say
it could be
that's
an
like
active
both
learning room. So like
combined.
active learning room, I
That's
would
the
probably
best
start
use of an
on the
active
right.
learning room.
But a regular classroom, I'd probably start on the left
You know
side
what? That's probably like one of those
with my inputs.
public-private partnerships. I can start having like classes at Buffalo Wild Wings and call it active learning.
I'm just thinking that, you know, hey, when we're done, we just flip that over and now it's the sports book.
Okay, it's like you were saying, Justin, sorry for the interruption.
And then I fill in the guts to figure out what I need.
The guts.
Wait, you said you have your I's and your O's and everything in between?
Uh-huh.
So do you already have your parts list before you even start the drawing, or?
No, I'm like really doing shapes. I fill in the parts later. So like I need a 98-inch TV. Don't care what model. I need this. And then I actually use AI to help me create my estimates.
Really?
So I have a bill of material from the schematic that is basically blank except for make and model.
Are you leading me to believe that you
That's where
are
I fill in.
one-offing every one of your drawings, sir?
That's what I'm
Most
hearing.
of the time I am, because of what we do on campus. Everything is brand
Everything's
new
one-off.
and there's no standards.
showing
And
it.
everybody has their own money.
I
So
can save you so much time. It's called standards.
yeah, I know, right? It'd be nice.
Would you like
but-
for us to explain the tier system to you?
Yes.
Yeah. But when I'm designing a brand new building, it kind of works out. Like,
Does it?
We can follow
So,
some standards. Yeah.
Trick question.
My standards?
Trick question. Would you
Trick
like
question.
to step into this trap, sir?
Sure, I guess.
Is
I do
your
it every day with
design
you,
process CAD?
That was very nice.
Do you consider the
No.
design to be the CAD work?
No.
No. Okay. So when you say I'm designing
Yeah,
a
I
room,
with the
sometimes-
drawing.
you
I sometimes do this on a piece of paper and pencil. I just got to get my head wrapped around it. But it depends on the project. Like right now, I've got this massive CAD deadline here in 30 minutes that I don't know how I'm going to hit. And I have to use CAD, so everything has to be perfect because it's going out to
Sure.
bid and it's part of a construction set. and all
but
that
you,
shit,
for
right?
your just the iterative process, like you can't think about it unless you have CAD open.
Or a drawing tool of some sort.
Yeah, is it like must you like when I say design a room? What is that? And what does design a room mean?
What? Why are we talking
What
about
you're saying?
that?
Like I can take a list of bill of materials and kind of say I kind of understand how this goes together, but that's
Yeah.
not like that's not a fully baked design. So is a design like the one line CAD document that's created? Is that what we're talking about?
An AV design. But are you asking me the definition of an AV design?
No, I'm asking
your
you
design.
how you design. You're saying because what you've implied is you have to open CAD first and you start blocking things out, regardless if you
I
know
didn't
the
say
stuff
that.
or
You
not.
said that.
Okay,
You agreed,
You said
and then
that.
you said either that or a napkin or something.
Or some piece of paper or something. If it's not a basic standard classroom that I've done 1,000 and million times and it's some one-off, which we do a shit ton here, it's just a lot of one-offs. I've got to like write things out and at least do some kind of, oh, we need 5 microphones and we're going to do this and we're going to do this weird thing. All right, let me at least sketch some shit out before I make a bill of material.
Yeah, and I think in that we're different because when I started designing, the company I was working for used a product called DoveNet, which did 0 drawings,
I've
but it
heard of
was
that.
just a parts list. And
How do you know
Carrier
what connects
pigeons,
to what?
Which is
DoveNet, I don't know where they came up with the name, but it was basically a quoting tool, and you would put the equipment you needed in it, and then
That's
it would
not
come up with the
designing.
bill of materials, and then
What do you
from
mean?
there
Hold on,
you would
pause.
do
What do you-
drawings from that.
What do you? So you put the equipment in that you need. What do you mean by that? You're putting in the make and model,
Yes, you
or
put.
I need a DSP.
You're
that
creating
does
a bill of
these things
materials.
and it finds you one.
You put the bill of materials, and so that's where my design always started. Was what
Ooh, bill of
equipment?
materials is last.
that
Otherwise,
actually
I'm
that
changing it
was like the old
consistently.
star draw / D tools way. Like you couldn't put something into a drawing
did
unless it
star
was
draw.
in your bill of materials. They wouldn't even let
Library.
you. It would,
You have to have it in your library.
okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
StarDraw works on
Sure,
libraries.
I'm talking like back in the
So-
Wayback Machine here. This is vintage
Yeah,
stuff.
like
But it's the same model. D Tools and
Same
X10 still
thing.
do that same thing.
Right. So that's why I'm curious. Like you're saying, I'm starting with a drawing, but are you like
Yeah.
making it up? Like maybe one of these will work, maybe one of these will work, and just throwing it in there and just making your boxes and say, yeah, you know what? I'll have this input retro encabulator and I'll kind of shit it out over here.
drawing, the first initial, which may be the only one, is basically a framework of what I need to go find. I have to go find a 98-inch display. I have to have these microphones. I got to figure out what my DSP is. Oh, I need a 4-channel amp. I don't need a 2-channel amp. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's a concept schematic. Sometimes it doesn't get past that. Then I create my bill of materials where I'm looking at actual products. That creates my estimate, scope of work.
So you're using it as like
And
a
then
checks and balances thing.
if it's Yeah, if it's my internal team and they've done that system before, they don't get a schematic, and that that thing that I drew is usually thrown away.
Get thrown a lot of flack for that kind of language around here, sir. I don't want you to.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
We're not pointing fingers, but it might be towards Kentucky.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with Kentucky?
That's usually where those comments come from.
Oh.
So, okay. So well, you've cobbled some stuff together in this massive CAD thing, and you've learned that I'm going to need a couple widgets, maybe a few tchotchkes. And then now it's bill of materials time. But walk us through. Give us a logic flow.
Specifics.
I'm going to say logic flow, but give me a logical overview. I'm not asking you for the control document. That's not what I'm asking you. Give me paint me a picture in my mind of what your document looks like for this fictitious BDubs active learning room.
BDubs active learning room. I don't know. I usually just start on the hardest one first. So, like, how many displays are we looking at? What am I going to do for audio? Where can I put that? How many speakers am I going to need? Dictates amplifier needs. You just kind of work your way backwards. That's why I'm saying, so I start with the outputs, and then I work my way backwards, because I can then, especially if I only have 3 or 4 sources in the room, it's like I already know what that is.
I get it. It's not wrong. Can I ask you another question? How much detail do you have in your blocks on said drawing? Is it only the things in which you're using?
Yes, because if I put every connector on there, people get confused.
I want a full-on 64 by 64 DM chassis with every card accounted for, sir. Put it in there. One page, 8 by 11.
Yeah. So if it just depends. Like, sometimes, like, if it's a QIO ML 2x2, I'll put all the connectors on there if I'm only using 2. But if it's a network switch, I might put 12 connectors if I'm using 8.
Would you just
instead of all 24?
Trick question for the group. Do you draw out your network switches, or do you just put a call out on a line block?
I draw my PDUs and my network switches. PDUs and power have schematics.
I like a to port number, and then that's it. I don't actually go through the whole thing.
I draw it all.
I do my network switches, but not the PDU.
Well, because we're not talking about your drawings.
Because my cable labeling ends up on my schematic. So if I don't have my network drawings in there, how do you know what to label your cables?
Well, hold up.
We're not talking about labels.
No, I get it.
Labels get generated by the same software. So what I'm hearing from the other three, I've been kind of quiet on this one. What I'm hearing from the other 3 guys there is none of you do like full drawing sets. Depends. Justin does, and you don't.
I do sometimes, but not always. Yeah, well, like right now, I'm in like some shit right now trying to finish this full building. Then that's
different.
I've got
right. Yeah, I get it. You're doing a building thing because you're serving a role in that one. I'm talking about for your conference rooms, your classrooms, your meeting rooms, your event spaces. You're going to be handing that off to somebody.
You should have a standard. Like I have a standard conference room dock set that everybody knows. Like if I say this is going to be a standard conference room, it's like, okay, but this is a standard conference room, except, that's, and we do a lot of excepts here because some people can't afford things.
No, that's how I got it. So back to the original question.
I don't know if I'm doing.
You're working output.
I don't know if I'm doing this
right, which is fine.
Really stupid.
No, I think you're doing. I think you're doing it right. I think everybody has a version of what you're doing. I don't think you're so outside of the norm. It's efficient for you in your work process. But I think I might be more like Larry, where if it's standard, it's standard. But I'm going to probably start with kind of what we've maybe napkin CAD'd out and have a rough bill of materials, and I'll start putting that together, and then that may bring to light, maybe I'm going to need X, Y, and Z extra thing, but I didn't start in the drawing. I didn't start there. And so it is more conversational and like bill of materials and budget focused early on. Whether that be right or wrong, that's not the hill we're going to die on today. That's just the reality that we are faced.
And I think I'm there as well. I don't start in the drawing because the drawing takes the longest amount of time, and I'm just trying to turn around budget numbers. And then once we're in agreement that, we're in this range, I'll go back and I will do a drawing, but that's not where I'm going to start.
My drawing started when I met in the room with the client in my mind, I started tabulating. Okay, it's probably going to be one of these. It's going to be some
I
of
do
that
too.
And so, yet I'm not like putting line down, but I'm carrying that forward in the conversation to understand where it affects the bill of materials.
But I think he's doing the same, right?
If I don't write down what if it's a complicated enough system, I start to lose where my thought process was. So I have to create the schematic, even if it might be squares and bubbles.
And I
to some degree, so I don't lose track.
I kind of do the same, because I have a mental inventory of most of the things I typically use or what's available to me in the world, and I kind of have an understanding of what the scope's going to be. And to Larry, like you said, a lot of times I know they're not going to buy this. I'm just trying to get an estimate out the door. So that initial bill of materials is just, that's what I put together. Now I might switch some things in and out, but also to Justin is like, once I want to start fine tuning, like once this becomes real, it's a piece of paper first and just a bunch of squares and lines and like squiggles that says that's not going to work or whatever. But I don't draw as much as I used to, simply because almost, most of our stuff is, print standard doc set to red line out what you didn't use and let's move on. Unless it's more complicated or it's a little different, or to his project right now, it's a building set that I've got to submit. Then the details really come into work. I do, I guess, tend to do the same thing. I start at the ends and work towards the middles, because I don't want to buy a 64 by 64 matrix, and I only needed, a 4x2. Where I feel
like
like
if you start in the middle, you're buying either too much or too little if you're trying to standardize on your system that way. Because this system needed a 7x7 DM switch, so everyone needs a, it's like,
unless that's what I've been given to use. Like if I'm working around, I only have this. That's all I have. I only have a 12 port network switch, whatever it is. So I've got to work from there.
No, I could see that. You're like, if you're using OFE stuff that's already there, you drop that in first and work around it. I get that.
Yeah, but that's rare.
If we take the BDubs active learning space, how many student groups,
the future. Yes.
Yeah, you know how many student groups you got. You know what the instructor station is going to look like, and what the large display is going to look like. So you can count up your ins and your outs.
The large display? What?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you don't start all your project with just like some chicken scratch drawing, like weird lines and boxes and stuff like that. In your notebook, that's literally how it all starts, right? And you're transposing that.
Huh.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, let's be real.
I just have words, not drawings typically when I start, but yeah.
And floor plans and elevations, it's all on my little legal pad.
I do elevations and rack elevations last.
Okay.
Because if I don't finalize what my overall design is, I found that I go back and change it 75,000 times before I'm done.
That is one question I got, because I will do elevations, but I do not do rack elevations.
I don't do
only
anymore.
do that very minimal.
Yeah,
very minimal.
Our racks aren't that filled anymore, so there's not that much going in them.
Yes.
Well, it's just even more reason to do rack elevations, or you end up people just put everything at the bottom and be like, we're done.
Yeah.
I want this laid out a certain way. I want 3 RU top and bottom of that network switch, because you have to get your hands in there.
I suppose that it depends on who's doing the work.
Yeah, if it's my guys, we know how they know how we do things,
racks.
And I'm not afraid to go in there and say, "No, move all that shit."
Yeah, exactly.
You should have known better. But if it's, I guess if I had an integrator doing audience. It, I would probably spell it out a little bit.
I want to say, I know your audience. I want to do that, though. I will bet right now I'm the worst at this entire group for documentation. No doubt in my mind.
I think we all.
I think we all know.
And so
I think we all agree.
You hate documentation so much that you write articles about how much you hate documentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I really had an internal argument of whether or not it was me.
No, I think there's always room for improvement, right? And I have a lot of ground to keep, but it's a balance. And when I say know your audience, it's the efficiency. What must you over document versus what can you get away with, and balancing the total workload. And I think if Chris, Justin, if you're holding this thing and you're going to design, and your expectations, you're going to farm this thing out, then yes, the devil is in the details.
Absolutely.
Yes. I will put the time in.
That's what this is.
I have found myself getting much worse at this whole process the more on the network I do. Because what I'm finding is I have like PC, encoder, network. Laptop, encoder, network.
So you need a cloud in the middle that says, my friendly neighborhood network administrator makes this work.
And it's all on the enterprise. So I don't really control what the cable labels are. I don't control where it gets plugged in on the network switches. I don't have any of that.
You don't have a standard like printout, like these are the ports that a standard classroom has. This is the labels that go on the cables, and this is where they go on the switch.
Well, but not necessarily once it hits the
because
port
you
jack.
guys go to.
I'm on the enterprise. It goes down the hall, right? I'm on the enterprise switches. Yeah. So we, link runner the network ports, and it says, hey, I'm on 7, 12, 15, 22, and 48.
You must have just gobs of jacks in your classrooms. It's just like,
Jesus, I have what I need.
How many would that be exactly?
Well, it depends on the room. If it's in BDubs, I probably have,
you got a nice 144 panel there with a brush pass through and everything.
Well, yeah. How many things we got here going on in BDubs?
I mean, too many to count.
If you have a couple of encoders, and then you have your PC that has to connect to the network, right? And then each of your decoders, in this case, it's a good BDub, so we have 27 televisions around the room.
Are all those going back to a switch in your instructor station?
No.
Or
Those
are going back to
the switch.
MDF or IDF.
Yes, because with me putting it out on the enterprise, and I have
Isn't this what they wanted you to do, Larry? This like a couple years ago, there was threats of you having to do this. Yeah.
We have old buildings made out of asbestos. Not really. I looked and they're not as hot as I thought they were, but
it's expensive to run cable.
It is really expensive to if your standard is 3 jacks per room. If I were to ask for 30,
what kind of luxury is that?
Now this is an AV
I get
over
2,
IP
one
system.
of which got stolen for a WAP somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
AV over IP system in BDubs active learning classroom. If it's a regular classroom, Larry, there is a small 8-port switch, but there's no AV over IP. There's an HD base to the projector, but I still have 3 at the desk and 2 at the projector. Network jacks.
2 at the projector.
2 at the projector.
What the hell are you doing at the projector?
Well, yeah,
that's for the extra projector.
That's for any camera or projector network control, or sometimes they steal a WAP, or it's for all kinds of stuff.
I've started over specifying because I know someone's going to go steal one of those in 6 months.
Yeah, and that's even in the old spaces. Just as we go through there,
it's in our Division 27 that way. As there's 2 drops at every display location. It's
my
not
documentation
even part of our network.
On these AV over IP systems has gotten it's really stupid because they get these sets and it's network.
So you basically have source encoder magic,
yes,
and on the other side decoder display.
I do put on on the LAN port. It may go to the ubiquitous cloud, but it does say like AV VLAN or.
Just
enterprise DHCP or static address, and I'll put the address on there. If it's a static address, the address goes on there.
North Pole.
There's a label kit, but my drawings are really stupid easy now because it's just a series of 3 boxes all over the thing, and they're like, "What have we done?"
I bet you dollars to donuts that your network team has a standard layout of what these AV VLAN ports land on, because if they don't know, then they're going to lose track.
I'm pretty dang sure.
Are you sure? Dude, I wouldn't say that on a recording. That's pretty, like, how are you not keeping track of where your AV VLAN's physically in each MDF or IDF? As a network team,
the software layer. That's part of where I want to actually get into this.
That's one-on-one shit, guys.
They go, let me log into that switch. Oh, you're on port 176234.
It is logged nightly by an automated backup where it comes down that way. But I don't think it's. I don't know if it lands on a drawing set.
No, it never does, because
it doesn't need.
They're all patch paneled to the switches, and if they replace a switch, it may get patch paneled to a different port on the switch. We just need to know what the devices are, and by then it's MAC addressed. And
but usually you have this bank of 12 is AV VLAN. Whether you use, and then they can move around on that, but I mean, at least it's the same ports on every switch. That's very
like
that VLAN.
if I get to that
cordoned off
level, I'll
perspective of it, though.
actually have them spin me up an entire 48 port switch just for me. And then we'll patch into that separately, but it's in the same stack as all the enterprise ones that they just manage. But no, we just put on our link discovery and tell them what it is, and we get the MAC address exempt, and it goes to the IP address. And very rarely do we ever have any issues. You move it to another port, does what it's supposed to do.
Until it
It's a lot of
doesn't.
automation.
Until it doesn't, until the glass gets dirty and
Man, they got dust
breaks
on it.
up.
Someone got some dust on that
It
fiber.
breaks up the network traffic into Dante. I have discovered Audinate's secret. You just put dust on the glass. Done.
So I have two questions in my mind. I'm curious. One is around this amazing active learning BDubs classroom event space that we're working on. In that,
We should design that.
Amazing.
that do you
That'd
do
be amazing.
typical of
Yes.
each of the
Yes.
booths that are going to be in said BDubs
Yes.
active learning event space?
Every time.
Or
Typical
are,
of 32.
or are you doing
Yes.
the 42 individual booths?
Oh, no.
No. Okay.
Only if it deviates for some reason.
I want to hear
or
it from
another.
Justin, though. Justin, would you have typical of, or are you doing 42 to 60 of individual chicken wing eating booth collaboration active learning spaces?
Ooh, chicken wings.
I don't understand that question.
If you have 12,
What are you
if you have
asking?
12 tables, do you draw each table out, or do you try
How
one
many
table
wings
out
per
and
table?
say,
Schematic?
On a
Yeah.
schematic.
Oh, no, yeah. So I just went through esports. Here's one desk. Do
There
that
it is.
10 times.
Got it.
It's
Okay,
X10.
Making sure.
Right?
Just
and then
making sure.
And then I have to section off the middle ports to make sure I don't draw into
Yes.
them. Because if I start drawing and then I'll just lose track, like, oh, I really need 6 network switches instead of 3, right?
I'm keeping you honest
6
there.
So you
network
gotta-
switches?
You
What
got
is
to keep
happening?
track of how many cables you use for your ports. Otherwise,
I just wire
you're going
none
to
of
lose
them
track
together.
of
It
your
works.
equipment.
Wired these network cables together.
So our
It'll work
esports
itself
needs
out.
4 switches to work.
And what about
Just
like
found that
the
out.
non-tangible pieces of this? What are you doing to document that? I'm really, this is a question I've even thrown out to this group in the past. Like
Like what? Like Dante
Oh,
routes?
yeah,
It's
the
a table
DSP
DSP
associated.
configs,
It's a
like all that
addendum.
weird, the weird stuff that you got to get in the box with an IP to do, but it still has technical signal flow to it. Like, what are you doing to document that, Andron?
Oh, I don't.
I use Jamie's
You have
method of
ancillary
like, so
documents,
Jamie has his
cable
magic.
schedules.
Jamie has his magic internet like Gazina Gazauda drawings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we do DSPs. There's a DSP, and stuff comes out of the DSP.
That's yes.
Because to your point, Mark, I mean, that is a pretty standard config that gets loaded on there and the few slight tweaks are made and then the room is balanced and everybody goes about their merry business. But
Until it goes out to third party and they have to do something and you end up getting
There.
this. And you're
why,
like,
so here's my question. Why are
is
you
this?
letting a third party,
We're
even
not.
if they're installing, why are you letting a third party do your software?
We're not.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. But I'm just saying, we've all seen it that like,
I know it
yeah,
happens.
it happens. But
I've
it's,
had buildings.
it's amazing when you're like, how did they even come to that conclusion that we would have done that? Like, why? How did they put all the output blocks on the left side of the screen and then run the shit around virtually? Like, why would that ever have been the case? And yet it happens.
Yeah, that's where when you inherit, a building or a space or something like that, and you go in, the first thing you do is just wipe it and just start from scratch and load your config. But
I'm just saying, is there any magical mystery?
no, and
out
I think
there?
that's an area where I personally would like to better document our typical and standard spaces. Is okay, stuff DSP, and here's how we do our DSP, so that is available, and we have that documented and detailed. So because it's
Yes.
that those
Do it
files
once.
exist,
Somebody out there
we
is
can
screaming,
export
you
them,
should be
whatever.
putting everything in your GitHub repository. I get it.
No.
In all, this is
I
going
connect
to
all my
become,
DSPs to the cloud, and I let the cloud pull that
Well,
down.
this is going to become a bigger and bigger issue, because we've just addressed it. Like, it is a big cloud in the middle of your drawing. What does that? What does your Dante flowchart look like? What does your
A big giant
DSP
Excel doc.
look like? And even when we get proposals from integrators for folks that don't typically do their own, do they screenshot that and give it to you? Do you get to see that before they implement it? Like we do touch panels. I mean, we fight for, I want to see the touch panel.
That's
Sure.
Right?
I was about to say,
Do
just
we?
use AI for all that
Do
to compile
we?
it all. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
I made a cable schedule in 3 seconds the other day.
but
It wasn't
Was it
Copilot,
correct?
I'll tell you
I
that.
don't know. So
It was right. And I was
How
like,
long
this
did it-
is, I loaded in a schematic of my drawing set and said, made a cable schedule.
Yeah,
I had the
it'll do
labels. and went tabled that shit. Oh, dude, it was beautiful.
Claude for Excel is sweet.
Oh, it's great. It's
all right, nerds.
Oh my
back
God.
on task.
Sorry,
Love
man,
it.
it's
All
no
right,
time for
nerds,
that.
back on task.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
But we've all been there in the
Saves so much
past
time.
where you have it. Your clients, like, I want to know what the touch panel looks like. How does it flow? What's the page flips look like? All this crap. But nobody ever says, I want to know exactly what the inside of that DSP is going to look like. And we've all inherited that one where it literally is 8 in, matrix mixer, 4 out. Done.
Or they'll do all the custom blocks and it's all wrapped in layers of shit. It's like, dude, don't do that. Like, don't.
I like to take multiple AEC
lying,
references at different places along the signal flow. I like to make sure that we can use any one of those as
I
a
just like
reference.
to flag them and they don't go anywhere.
But then you can click the button and it highlights it, and it highlights and it's all weird, like stripey, because it doesn't connect.
With us moving towards software-defined systems and such, how it... I
push
don't know
the
this answer.
the auto AI button and let the DSP do its thing.
Like, does Avixa, are they putting together
Good
a
luck getting
standard set for
any
this kind of
schematic
thing?
from that.
I
I don't know. Yeah.
don't know.
The soft goods documentation. What's going on there?
Yeah,
That's what we want to know.
Is there soft goods documentation? Is there cloud-based
Well,
documentation?
and to that point, I mean, even if we go to a simpler device, let's say we're setting up a projector or a display, there's certain
configurations
settings
there
you
too.
want enabled or disabled in there. And we may have a Word doc somewhere, a shared Google sheet that we've got some notes on, but that's not part of the set, and probably it should be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just line of thing, go to this box, and you're like, well,
Well,
I can do that and make that literally not work. I can turn on all the processing. I can turn on the weird color modes. And it'll look terrible at the wrong aspect ratio. It's all stretched and distorted and whatnot. And that's all things that we don't document because
you speak a lot
just
about.
go
Do you
do
do
it.
an EDID table?
Do I do an EDID? No, I do not do an EDID table.
He does.
You don't have to
720p.
if you stick with
done.
720p mono.
720.
That's my
Yeah.
EDID table.
Okay.
Do it or
That's
else.
the standard.
So, yeah.
That's documented somewhere. It's an SOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just that's the page one on every document. Just so set the stage.
Yeah.
Everything's drawn in mono.
So Justin,
No, I don't do an EDID table, but it's I also kind of wrangle that directly myself. But and maybe that's something there should be a note somewhere that says all displays to be set at, all sources to be set at. And for those of you out there who are big on NVX systems, enable DHCP, you cheaters. So,
what software are you using
for DHCP,
to draw? We
What?
know no to draw.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, wait, what?
Yeah, switch topics. Squirrel. Justin, we know he uses AutoCAD.
I use a combination of. Well, yeah, it is all AutoCAD.
Like,
You gave up. You're like,
There's some other
Well, I
stuff
was going to
that's
say
not bad.
Bluebeam, but that's because I have to deal with architects.
But that's
and some of
marking
them-
up. Yeah,
That's
marking up.
markups and
But
construction
I
drawings.
export CAD from that, and then so it's eventually
it's all AutoCAD.
DWGs. Yeah, or Revit. I got to deal with that shit too. That's not fun.
Okay.
Chris,
X10.
for all of it.
I do everything in X10. Well, no, I take it back. I don't do my construction drawings. I do those in Bluebeam because X10's straight up drawing tools are not great, but schematics, elevations, rack elevations, all that stuff, it's all in X10. And then I've got a single database. I got all that stuff in there. Pull from it. It's great.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Cable schedules, all that fun stuff. It's all in there.
I'm
Larry.
D tools tied to Visio and then Bluebeam for construction drawings.
Same workflow as me.
It's the same thing. I'm actually going back to Visio for everything. You know, we went.
So how do you do elevations? What do you do elevations in?
Visio.
Visio.
You can do it.
You draw a box. That's the wall. Then you draw another box. That's
So
the
how
TV.
do you download chief mounts in Visio and like all these other boxes and widgets? Because I go to the manufacturers, I download all their DWGs. They don't have Visio files, and then I pop those into my perfectly scaled CAD drawing, and everything's exactly where I show the studs in the freaking walls, and that's
I
where the
don't do
mount
that.
goes.
I do
What are the
not.
names?
And
Like
guess what? I have zero problems
Steve.
with people putting shit in the
Hot
wrong
Larry.
spot. Use this drawing.
No, I get you.
Just as long as you're not using the Sony TVs where the VESA mount's on the bottom.
Oh, so I was looking at one of
No,
those the
you
other day.
accommodate for that.
Not from a Sony, but from somebody else because I had to make sure there's a chair rail
That'll
on the
get you.
wall, and that became a whole thing. And I was
get
like, oh yeah, we need the box at this height. And went, wait, and I looked at it, and it's all at the bottom. I was like,
You sons of... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my drawings, it's an AutoCAD. I'm not very good at it, but it's there. And then Bluebeam is what I'll use when I have to mark up or annotate over the architect's ones for RCPs and stuff because I'm too lazy to export and re-import.
I'll be honest. I do more elevations than I do anything else. Schematics. Every time we put a TV up on campus, I do an elevation for it.
What?
The exact TV mount, the exact placement of the rough ends, because I've got so many of them done. It's a copy and paste.
I'm going to be on Mark's side on this one and be on like, that's over documenting.
I print.
Wait, let me move over
I
here.
get my templates out.
Yeah, but you guys are like constantly chasing
this.
legal fear on your campus. I feel like you're always like, I need to have this so I can throw this motherfucker under the bus.
Well, the contractors and the electricians and the drywall people and the project managers can all look at my single drawing and do it one way. If I don't have a drawing, there's always one thing that gets screwed up.
Now, Justin, to that end, I have worked with our electrical and our carpenters. We have a standard, like, this is how you do TV mounts and stuff on.
I don't have that because it could be any contractor. We don't have facilities doing that work. It could be any outside contractor. It could be an electrician mounting the mount or a drywall guy mounting the mount, depending on.
Why are they mounting the mount?
Because they have to put it in the wall, Larry, and build it into the studs because it's a recessed mount.
I think he's asking why the
back
drywall guy is doing that.
So like the chief FPI WS, for example.
Okay.
You put that in there, tell it the elevation, send it on, and no one screws it up.
That's really fancy. We just
really
drill it to the front.
And I've created all these templates, so it takes me 30 seconds to a minute to plot one out. And it sometimes takes 5 minutes if I have to make one adjustment because of something on site.
Rough estimate amount of time you're spending in CAD per week, Justin.
49 hours.
This is not much, actually.
I don't know if I
Because the
believe
more time
that.
I call foul, sir.
The more time that goes on,
you have CAD
the
open
less
on
time.
your laptop every
CAD
moment
launches
we're
at
speaking.
boot
That's
on your
today.
system.
That's
I've never
today.
talked to you when you weren't working on CAD.
Yeah, you
I'm not
have.
throwing you in the bus, but I get the sense that you
Yeah, you have.
I feel like you do more documenting than just the AV pieces. I think you're
I have way less headaches for contractors. Like conduit goes here, power outlet goes here.
and you're not wrong.
Do the conduit size this way. Don't forget the data conduit too, so they don't steal ours. And put all this shit together, because I know, Mark, that's a problem that you have. People stealing conduits. Well, if you do a drawing set,
They're still here.
that's
It was on the
There it
drawing.
is.
Like when Mark's conduit was stolen, it was on the drawing.
Yes, but if it's on an agreed upon drawing set, then it's a contractual issue.
Thank you, Chris.
And you can go back and you can get
That's the thing. I think you guys are you're
that word.
the
Rectification?
impulse to over document seems to come from the fear of litigation.
No, I just hate people screwing shit up.
And you want
to-
and it pisses me
And that
off.
There it
becomes
is.
a
And I have to go
litigation
back
thing,
and deal with it. So it actually saves me time to document stuff. And the more time that goes on, again, the more libraries I build, the less time I'm actually spending in CAD. Because I could just copy and paste like a freaking consultant. You know?
Shots fired.
That's right.
You
My
aspire
God.
to be the one you hate.
Well, I
love
thought it was pretty
Yeah.
ironic that you were going from a 2-channel amp to a 4-channel amp earlier.
Right,
after
we
our
know the truth of
discussions.
this.
yeah.
How do you know until you do audio coverage uniformity standards in your
We
space?
don't have time.
Mono,
we
sir.
don't have time.
Well, it's all mono to the user. It's just, I mean,
Just how much
The
mono?
user
How many
has
watts
one
do I have
ear.
to break?
How many channels of mono do you want?
one channel of mono from multiple channels.
Oh,
You
man.
guys are distracting me. I gotta get this shit
Yeah,
done.
this CAD worked out.
Because you're working on
Exactly,
CAD in the middle.
Oh,
I'm actually
did
trying to
did we
find
even
a
answer any of your original desire to embark in
I?
this journey of lack
Like,
of
how do we go
documentation?
about this?
Yeah.
Did we answer this for you?
Was there
I
any other
think
questions you want us to?
answered the fact
You're
that
doing fine,
everybody does
sir.
it a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was just making sure I wasn't an outlier
You are.
in like
But for
You know,
other
the
reasons.
Everybody does it different.
Yeah, the only way you're an outlier is that you overplan more than 3/5 of us.
actually an underplan.
I'll say I wish I would get there, but I would take it like a ton of time to do it.
Jeez, I would never get there.
Like all I'm trying to do is find a stupid DWG for a 2-gain Dante plate.
Oh, I have that. Hold on.
Can you just send it to me?
Yeah.
And I'll be done with this shit.
Build it.
He's the one from
I'm not
Symmetrics, it's
actually
great.
doing CAD right now. It's just finding the thing so I can load it
You
in.
wouldn't
So
want
they,
it from me anyway because I probably created it as a box in a box that went on the box.
That's not the scale.
It looks like Visio, but I used AutoCAD.
You know what I'm going to do?
$1,200 a year to draw Visio boxes.
I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to bring in the picture to CAD. I'm done with this shit.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm done.
Just use that place command. Just drop it right in there.
Gotta.
So that's the other thing I add on my drawing set is 720p mono on every page, and then right below that, not to scale.
And Chris just selects all
different sizes.
He selects all layers.
Field
and just
verify.
plants it. There, it's on every layer. HVAC, that don't go there.
Oh my God, dude, what is going on?
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the friendly folks we work with on campus who they try to help us out. You know, we don't want to bother you. We're just going to go buy this stuff, and we're just going to go set all this stuff up. And hey, we're having trouble with our conference. Can you come by and take a look at this? And
you're talking about clients,
or departments, or other groups, or all sorts of folks who generally try to help, but in doing so, just make it mess. So. Oh, and we have our teaser here for those of you who didn't hear our last episode. Here's what you missed.
If you missed the last episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, we tackled 3 simple topics: AI governance, storytelling, and furniture development. In the news segment, we calmly wondered whether your collaboration platform might be auto-transcribing confidential meetings and sharing them with, well, everyone. Nothing screams progress like accidental transparency. Then we discussed storytelling, because apparently knowing signal flow isn't enough. Now you need a narrative arc and emotional pacing to justify your technology budget. And finally, we talked about furniture development, where we learned that tables have strategy, chairs require stakeholder alignment, and your classroom refresh is basically ergonomic foreign policy. So if you missed Off the Rails episode 132, you only missed AI anxiety, leadership philosophy, and a heated debate about chairs. Go listen. We'll wait.
See, that's what you missed.
Snarky.
Not that snarky.
No, that one was
could be worse.
It could have been way worse.
As I expected.
I had to dial it way back.
Snark
I think
control.
SnarkBot needs to get back to where it was.
Mm-hmm. All right, if you want the really
it sounded like a
one,
librarian reading that, like very
spared no
very
expense.
librarianish.
Yeah.
All right. So we've all got this call, this request, this support doc, this email, this whatever that we didn't want to bother you with this, so we didn't tell you about it. We hung up a bunch of displays for signage, or hey, how do you get the things to update at the right time? Or hey, we can't hear people in this room where we went and bought our own microphone speakerphone thing we put on the desk and no one can hear us. Or so how do we deal with those requests? You know, even our facilities team sometimes are like, oh no, we do enough of this. We know how you do it. So we put but we can't get it to work. Can you come by and look at it? So what's our follow up with that?
We don't really support that. That we don't really.
Is that a viable answer? Just from around really quickly, can you say we don't support that?
Not by itself.
And it'd be okay, and you can just say, thank you, sorry, walking away.
You can't walk away from it. You got to provide a solution.
Yeah, it depends.
No, there are times where that is the answer, yes. Absolutely.
It's part of the answer. It's not the only answer. It's part of the whole narrative.
I do get...
No, sometimes that's the answer. Well, how come my Fire TV stick doesn't work?
Right.
I logged it in. No, just no.
What if they had a drawing that said Fire TV, Arrow,
Cloud.
Just,
I didn't think about that.
That should work like that.
And it's
I don't
labeled
know why
correctly.
that's not.
yeah, and it's got the right label on it. So, yeah.
I just tell them we're not a client of AWS anymore, so they can't use it.
So this topic, which we will not get through in the next 56 seconds, wherever we're going live, I often see this come in as, oh, we thought we were saving you guys time, so we went ahead and just bought these things, as if the purchasing element was the thing that was going to somehow take the longest to do. And they're doing us a great service by just going on Amazon and just buying a bunch of things. Like, thank you so much. You saved me minutes of PO creation time. And they're victoriously shopping because oftentimes it's an office administrator who doesn't have much comfort in enterprise costs, in numbers are always wacky, and so that's where this always seems to stem from. We don't have a lot of colleges going out there going rogue, doing whole classroom installations and weird stuff, but it's usually these one-offs that are like the little collaboration room and this thing, and we bought this, and we got it's
meeting rooms and conference rooms.
That's
I see
typically
that a lot,
where it is. It's like I
do get it in lab spaces and stuff. Well, we just wanted a projector, so I went and bought this one, and it's like, but it's out of it's hard to see, and it's like.
So here's one of the answers we can also provide. It's your space. If it's the department space, you are free to do whatever you want. Just don't call me. Right?
Mm-hmm. Welcome to my campus.
It's the carrot and stick model.
Welcome to my entire campus.
And I'm dealing with it right now. An atypical request that's like, we want to do all these things and this and that. It's like, you're asking me for non-standard things. The answer is, I will buy it for you, and you're more than welcome to put it up however you want. But no, I'm not going to wrap the extension cord around the fire extinguisher and use a drywall screw to hold it into the concrete.
Wait, so you'll still purchase it? Because then I
won't purchase it. No.
At a certain point, you're going to own that.
No,
so.
I'll ask them, here's your list. You can purchase it. I can just send you a cart that you can just check out and you're on your own. Like, there's nothing. Okay. So
I think it's
because then it's going to be when that person leaves. It's going to be, well, that Mark guy. He's the one who told us to buy this.
But they're going to do it either way, right? And fundamentally, they're only calling because they want to be able to continue to call. Let's be real. That's the only reason. And somebody above them said, well, did you talk to so and so over at blah 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 technologies? And they're like, fuck. I'll outsmart them. Hey, I'm going to do this whole thing. And then you just call them out. Be like, listen, you're only calling me and pretty much asking me what's the bare minimum you can spend and still call me. That's really what the basis of this conversation comes down to. Yeah. And so you be honest, like, well, here's the way it really needs to be treated. This is how you have accessible and, the way you're going to meet standards, and it's going to call this. It's going to cost this amount of money. That's what it is, right? You be transparent up front. Whatever they're going to choose to do, they're going to choose to do.
I think it's funny that you started that by thinking they're going to save you time. Mm-hmm. Because of this happening on my campus, I now have access to any purchase order that has anything to do with AV. Like, it can be a camera lens. They see the word camera, I get flagged, and now I have to go look at that purchase order and figure out who is it, can they purchase it.
Do you just add stuff in there?
I can add comments and say, I can stop the order,
add
or
like
I can add comments.
But Larry, you know what it doesn't work for? Credit cards.
I've got burnt with that recently.
Yeah.
I don't have as because we're set up the same way as Larry now, that almost every one of those requests gets piped through me unless it's a credit card thing, and then that's when you go, well, good luck with that. I find it's not necessarily the department's trying to do me a favor, it's my fellow IT friends.
They're guilty of it too.
Where, well, the computer's not connecting to the network. Oh, I'll just I rebooted, it didn't work. I'll just change the network's port. I'll unplug the switch that was in there in order to plug in
I knew the
computer.
You didn't have this problem, Jamie. Didn't we just have this conversation commercial ago where you didn't have network issues and your layer one was solid as shit?
Well, yeah, but this, again, is my brethren. This is my IT brethren helping me out. Or the ones that, they always pick the one box they don't understand, typically an audio DSP. The projector wasn't working, and this thing doesn't have buttons, so I went ahead and rebooted that. But the projector still doesn't work.
So, whoa. So if it had buttons, tell me what you were going to do.
And again,
you can just start pressing
if
stuff.
they have access to the back panel, which means they have a key to the desk, that means they're on IT personnel, but they just don't understand.
That's a story for another day, right there.
That they're not
access and keys. Oh boy,
only to my team.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's not make a note of that one, because there's a whole thing around that.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those cases where, in our admin center, we only have really computer desktop support folks, but the chancellor needs to have this thing done, so they have keys to our cabinet in order they can call us and just, I'm in there, help me, and we can try to help them. But sometimes they try to help me, and it's like, dude, you did the worst possible thing to fix this. So that's where my thing really comes in, and sometimes it is an education thing. Please don't ever do that again. Or the ones that the computer doesn't work to reboot it, they'll flip the switch on the power sequencer.
They love that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some folks in engineering who are like, it's not working. Kapow. We're like, well, now everything's off, and you get to wait about 8 minutes for that to come back. So enjoy.
Good luck.
8 minutes.
For everything, yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Well, we have all those DMPS 300s. I mean, they're at least 15 on their own.
Well, it's even before that, some of the low power network switches that are powering the, PoE powering the touch panels and that stuff won't come back up. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, it takes forever.
I had one guy say, why does your stuff take 15 minutes to start every time I use
It's
it?
like, how do you know?
I don't know. I didn't make it.
Well, I asked him
put the shit in.
I asked, he was explaining
It's like
it takes so long and they lose so much time. He's like, we only have 50 minutes for class. I lose the first 10 or 15 for. I was like, wait. Are you rockering this thing every time you come in? Because at some point in years past, someone showed him this will fix it, but you're going to lose everything for like 10 minutes. And in his mind, that clicked at like, this guarantees it works, which is true. It guarantees it works every time because he walks in and I'm like, well, there you go. So yeah, that was a fun conversation. That took about 3 minutes to back and forth to kind of get around what he was asking, and then realized, oh, no, let me help you. So it's an interesting one. Anyway, aside, the only other scenario I wanted to bring up real quick is the folks who initially ask you for a system, a design, a conference room, a cart, a microphone, whatever, and to Mark's point, they don't like the price. Then they go buy their own thing, and then when it gets here, they say, "Hey, you remember that thing we were talking about last month? It's here now. Can you come make it work?"
Yeah. Or they had specific ad alternates. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Wait, this wasn't just a menu I could just pick off of randomly? Like, I just wanted I picked the 3 cheapest pieces. You tell me it's not going to work?
I don't know what this HDMI matrix is, but it was expensive, so I just went ahead and nixed it.
Yeah, I did have somebody mention that yesterday. Like, oh no, we'll just give this thing to the person who's responsible, the project champion, whatever you want to call it, and they'll just redline the items they don't want. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Like it's a rider. No, we're not going to provide
green jelly beans. No. So I just need that. I'm like, great. No, so I had that experience with they asked for stuff and then they opted to do their own thing, and then they asked for us to come install it. And a few months later, I wandered by this because I was like, no, we're not. Look, we gave you a thing. We went through this whole process. You did, and then you decided to do your own thing. You were on your own. And I poked my head in there a few months later, and it was like just cables across the floor and stuff duct taped down, and there's things hanging from a TV, and it was like. So we have a handful of rooms on campus that are. You guys are very much on your own, so enjoy. And at some point in the distant future, we will have a meeting about that space, and we will fix the space and make it work much better. But
in the meantime, he just goes and tapes magnets to all the.
Oh yeah.
Magnets.
He pulls up the tape, cuts the cable, then puts the tape back down.
Who's doing that?
You guys know all my tricks,
Chris.
Why would I want to create more support requests for a space that we're not even dealing with?
Spite.
You're not dealing with it.
In all of these years, we know that you do things for spite every now and then.
I do. I design and build systems out of spite, but I do it the other way. I build better stuff than other people have that makes them jealous, and now they have to go build better stuff. So.
Peer pressure. You're like a drug
pretty much.
lord.
So in general, I think this is probably universal for all 5 of us here. Generally speaking, the college on our university campuses, or a college who has the best facilities, the best stuff, the best gear, the best spaces, College of Business, right? Is that
no, not here.
Well,
no, stop.
With the exception, apparently, of Justin
they do have a lot of really good stuff.
They do.
It's not the best system, but they have a lot of stuff.
They got a lot of crap.
But this is a brand new, nice new building that, in theory, once you're done with it, will have really nice stuff, right?
We haven't even started.
I know. This is a 3-year-long process. So recently, I did a big project where I updated the building that is only general pool, and I made it better than the College of Business. And what has happened? The College of Business, like, we want our rooms to be like those rooms. I'm like, darn right you do. So
jealous. They're jelly.
No, they want to maintain that, and there's something to be said for it. So better student experience, better teaching experience all around.
They're real jelly.
All right. Any other thoughts on this, or you want to just push this button and leave?
Push it
out of here.
Let's get out of here.
So just saying no. Okay. Don't support him.
So yeah, we'll be back next week with, what are we talking about next week? We're talking about spring cleaning next week, and 2 weeks after that, we'll have, 2 weeks from now, a week after that, we'll have AV Trust on. Talk about security.
That's good.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV Super Friends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.
Looks good.